Hey everyone, Tom here with another how-to. Today I'm changing my differential oil on the truck. It's pretty simple to do and extremely important. If you don't know what your differential is, it's that thing. It's the thing that transfers power directly from your engine to your back drive tires. You have it on trucks, you have it on RVs, you have it on pretty much anything. And it's incredibly important that you maintain it. I think a lot of people don't realize how important it is to maintain. In fact, I sold an RV to a guy once who he had real big tires on his truck, and I asked if he'd, change his differential out or anything, and he said, no, it's fine, I don't ever mess with it. Sure enough, on his way to home, he blew out his differential. You gotta keep up on it. I'm about 15,000 miles on the oil in my differential here. You can probably go a little bit longer, but it depends on how much you tow. We tow all the time, so we wanna maintain it regularly, and it's just not that hard to do, and you should definitely do it especially if you're full-time on the road with your RV. Now, my differential here is pretty simple. I put this big fancy cover on here because it helps keep it cooler. This is a extra large cover that has fins on it that help to cool the fluid inside and keep it running at better temperatures. It has a sight plug here that I can open up and check the fluid level, and it has a drain plug here at the bottom. Now, if you have your factory cover, a lot of times they don't even have a drain plug. I don't know why, because you still have to maintain them. You have to remove all the screws and crack it to get the fluid to drain out. But a lot of times they do have a fill plug at the top. So not that hard to do, but if you do tow a lot, I recommend that you put one of these aftermarket covers on that you can drain it with, and it'll help keep your differential fluid cool as well. Now to do this, it's really simple. All you need is a drain pan to drain your old fluid into. You need your differential fluid. You need to know how much you need. I need 5 quarts, so here's a gallon, another quart. And then, in my case, all I need is this 1/2 inch driver to take the plug out. All right, so here we go. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the sight plug here, which will, a little tight there, which will allow it to breathe. Oh, come on. There we go. A little tighter than I would have liked. Another thing to consider when doing this is you want to drive the truck a bit and get the differential a little bit warm. I didn't drive it a ton, but she is a little bit warmer than ambient, so it'll help the fluid flow. All right, we got some coming out there. So it's probably a little overfull, but you don't really want to fill it more than about halfway. There's usually a line on here, and the line for the plug right here is actually the sight line. You pull that out and you fill it up until it starts to pull out of there. You're going to need to know for your truck what the fill line is. You don't really need to worry too much about exact fill on a differential. You just got to make sure she's got fluid in it. Now, differential fluid is the nastiest fluid in a truck, in my opinion. It smells disgusting. It's thick and gross, but there we go. Now, for my case, I've got a magnet on the bottom of this, and I can actually, if you see this here, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll wipe this off. This is all metal particulates that were in the differential fluid, and this magnet catches it, so you got to clean the magnet off every time you change differential fluid. All right, we're going to go ahead and let that drain for a while. All right, we've been letting this drain for a while, so now we're going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in. All right, there's that. All right, once you got the plug back in, you take your bottle of differential oil, and in this case, the quart bottle has this little spout on it. You just dump it into your differential, put it in there and squeeze. Squeeze it right in there. Now, my gallon jug does not have this little spout on it, so I'm gonna have to use this spout to fill it up. But you can get a pump as well and pump it out of your container. Lovely sounds it makes, huh? There's 1 quart. Alright, so I got all 5 quarts in there. What I actually had to do on this differential was I had to remove this little sight glass hole, or the sight hole right here, and then I had to remove a second fill hole up top and fill it from the top. That's probably how you're gonna have to do your normal differential. This one's a little bit different because of this special cover I got on there. But that's all there is to it. She's full of oil. I'm just gonna put her all back together and you're good to go. All right, well that's it. You're done. Last part is just to dispose of the oil. I just put it back in my old oil containers. Almost all auto parts stores will take your used oil. So there you go. Just keep up on your differential. It's an incredibly important part of your truck, and if you burn it out, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So easy to take care of, and it should last you for the life of the truck.
Learn more about this truck and our adventure at mortonsonthemove.com, and please support us by subscribing to this channel.